Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was the cultural touchstone of the early 2000s. It combined video games, skateboarding, and alternative music all in one fantastic experience. Tony Hawk really brought everyone together. From the skaters, the nerds, the jocks, the stoners, the punks, the goths, and fucking Ryan. Pro Skater had this addictive, arcade-style gameplay that anyone could pick up and play. And we can't forget about the music. Like, who can forget all these copyright safe segments of these bangers? The Tony Hawk series was hugely successful, until it wasn't. But then they brought it back, until Microsoft killed it again. Thanks, Bill Gates, you fucking
philanthropist.
But during its heyday, many companies were trying to capitalize on Pro Skater's success. Of course, there were skateboard games before Pro Skater, like ESPN Extreme Sports. But we'll be talking about the games that were clearly sucking on Tony's teeth. Will any of these games live up to the quality gameplay of Pro Skater? No! First up is Razor Scooter 64, which right off the bat uses stock rock music. Makes it easier for copyright claims, but worse for the game. It's an incredibly slow Pro Skater ripoff with very strange collision. Oh, come on, kid, you barely hit anything. I felt like I was sucking at the game, but I unlocked every level in like 20 minutes. There's only 4 levels in the game, all of them pretty generic cities, except for Sky Fortress. Hey, kid, look out. After you beat the Sky Fortress, you free a skater from the clutches of a giant robot JPEG. Wait, did the robot kidnap them? Whoa, Daryl, are you alright? Are you eating enough? This game sucks. The only reason to get this game is if it came with an actual Razor scooter and some shin guards. Here we have Thrasher, based on the magazine and published by Rockstar Games. This game takes a more realistic approach to skateboarding instead of Pro Skater's more arcadey style of gameplay. You could call it the precursor to Skate, but not like this precursor, more like this precursor. This is all your fault, you piece of shit! You go a lot slower than Pro Skater, and the levels are a lot more flat, so the satisfaction comes from mastering the controls rather than pulling off insane combos. You could also find fun in the early PS1 ragdoll physics. The controls aren't great. In the air, you have to press triangle, and then you go right or left if you want to spin.
Bullshit.
Strangely enough, for trying to be more realistic, you magnetize to the rails more so than Pro Skater. You do get to free skate and get a feel of the level before starting your run, which is a nice feature. After your run is over, the cops actually show up and you have to run away. It turns into a live leak video.
Pull over, show me your pussy. Are you Chinese? Are you Chinese? Show me your penis.
Overall, Thrasher is just okay. I can see what the developers were going for, but it was just too ambitious for the time. The Skate series nailed the more realistic approach that Thrasher was going for, and there's no real reason to go back to it today. Alright, Street Skater 2. What about Street Skater 1? Well, it's basically Street Skater 2, but shut up.
Do you remember 1992?
No, I don't remember. I was still a sperm. Street Skater 2 is Pro Skater, but all the levels are the mall or downhill jam. And I actually like downhill jam, so this game isn't too bad. You only have a certain amount of time to get to the end of the stage, and there's bonus levels in between to get more time. Wow, a whole 6 seconds. Thanks. The physics are a little floatier than Pro Skater, but it's not so bad that it makes the game unplayable. It's actually pretty fun. My biggest complaint is the button mapping. Flip tricks are L2 or R2 plus X. Grabs and grinding are both on triangle, and circle is more grab tricks? I don't know why they had extra grab tricks mapped to triangle. It just makes grinding harder. It's not a deal breaker, but it does make the control scheme a little awkward. You have 4 skaters to choose from, like Connor, whose in-game model looks like one of those 40-year-old stunt doubles for child actors.
Hey!
Please look at my medical alert bracelet. Oh.
They actually let you pick the song at the loading screen, a welcome touch that helps the loading go by faster. The music selection is pretty good too. Here, take a listen. This one's worth checking out. Alright, here's Grind Session for PS1. Like many of these games, it starts with some sick skate footy. Now who left a dang old dining table on the roof? Who's supposed to eat there? Birds? We've got 6 pro skaters to choose from. Ed Templeton looking like he doesn't want to be here. This is bullshit, fucking Tony lied to me. So it's just a worse and slower pro skater. Shocker. I mean, they didn't even try to be different. The first level is an airplane hangar. It has its own unique feature called Skater's Eye, which reveals technical lines. Oh, good. I didn't think to use the ramp with the fucking arrows on it. The game's physics are very inconsistent. I mean, you can be completely sideways and still land a trick. There's no manuals too, so your combo potential is very limited, but to be fair, this came out before Pro Skater 2. For my first run, I thought I was doing something wrong. All my grinds were the same no matter what direction I put in. Turns out you have to unlock the moves with the points you earn. That sucks. I mean, these are basic tricks you have to unlock, and it really limits what you can do from the start. Although this game isn't terrible, it's a shameless copy of Pro Skater. It doesn't even have a unique hook to make it stand out, like a skateboarding chimp that mauls Bob Burnquist. Well, how about MTV Sports Skateboarding? Alright, one more PS1 game. Here we have X-Bladez Inline. You boot up the game and... Get that thing the fuck away from me. The game starts with this FMV and damn, look at that concentration. Is that a chimp? So you start out by choosing either Stephanie or that fucker Kevin. So Kevin gets a wicked tan, I guess, and we're off. It's a linear downhill jam style game. Pretty straightforward. Grinding is very spotty. You have to jump on the rails perfectly to actually grind. Also, just grazing anything will knock you down. Oh, Stephanie does not want to be here. Now let me ask you something. What year do you think this game came out? 1998? 99? How about 2002? Yeah, don't play this game. While we're on the subject of rollerblades, here's Aggressive Inline for the GameCube. So going through the characters, turns out the 2 women skaters are actually made up. Damn it, rollerblading, don't make the jokes too easy. Alright, well let's start the tutorial. This is the most Lynchian tutorial for a GameCube rollerblading game I have ever seen. Why is Peppino here? Why are the cockroaches 2 feet long? And why do they keep killing themselves under my foot? The game has a lot of similarities to Pro Skater, although it has some unique mechanics like vaulting over ledges, spinning on poles, and basically just becoming Spider-Man. It controls pretty well. The only thing that's awkward is wall riding. So once you're actually in the game, it follows the Pro Skater 4 structure of being able to start missions whenever you want. However, there's a meter at the top left corner. That's the juice meter, which you replenish by doing tricks. The level ends once the meter runs out, so instead of a time limit, you have to keep earning points to stay in a level. It's an interesting twist, but it's so generous that you're never really going to run out of it unless you just turn 360 and walk away from your GameCube. The NPCs are also a lot more vocal than the usual Pro Skater NPC.
I'll kill him, or I'll hold him and you can kill him.
Kid, what the fuck? The gameplay isn't really unique, but it's still pretty fun. The soundtrack has a good selection too, including Real Big Fish, the band that taught me what good music is. However, the playlist menu only gives you the titles of the song, not the bands, which just makes it harder to find these artists on LimeWire. Okay, confession time. I'm actually more of a rollerblader than a skater. Shocking, I know. But with that being said, I think that rollerblading just doesn't look as impressive as skateboarding. Not because it's gay, but because grabbing your feet just isn't as cool as doing a kickflip. Still though, Aggressive Inline isn't actually a bad game. It won't blow you away, but it's worth trying out if you can get it cheap. Or somehow play it for free.
My glass eye!
Okay, I have seen a lot of sweet 2040p skate footy, but the intro for Evolution Skateboarding goes on for 3.5 goddamn minutes. Just wanted to say that. Rick McCrank. Now that's a marketable name. So I go to Freeskate, pick my character, and I can't select a single stage. There's no Freeskate when you start the game. It fucking teases you. And yeah, it said practice any stage already accessed, but we can't even get the first fucking stage when we start the game. So we go to arcade mode. And this game's unique feature from Tony Hawk, besides being bad, is that the stages in arcade mode are based on which character you pick. So immediately you notice this game is way slower than Pro Skater, and you have to hold up to actually speed up. In Pro Skater, you just automatically move forward, and you could hold down the ollie button to go faster. This gives you a lot more control as you jump on rails or hit half pipes at certain angles, since you don't have to worry about holding forward. So Evolution Skateboarding has slow speeds on top of an awkward way to speed up. The game is alright when you get into the groove, but the physics and the level design are constantly interrupting your flow. It feels like you're fighting against the level instead of becoming the master of your domain. See, even the game doesn't want me to continue. Evolution Skateboarding doesn't have much going for it. This is a game your monster parents buy you instead of Tony Hawk because it was $10 cheaper. It works as a minigame in Metal Gear Solid 2, but not a full game. Alright, here's the shit you really want. This is BMXXX. You know, a lot of people are pretty nostalgic for this game, and I think it's because it's the only tits you could see on the GameCube. I'm serious. The opening movie is a chick in a wet t-shirt. Unfortunately, the rest of the game doesn't live up to that. There was a lot of controversy surrounding this game, but it's really just a Pro Skater ripoff with strippers and dirty language. But the controversy is probably why there aren't any pro BMXers, like... So instead, we get these fucking winners. Ladies, keep your drinks away from rave. Oh hey, it's what my YouTube demographic looks like. The game starts and you're immediately hit with Green Day's Basket Case.
Do you have the time?
No, I don't have the time, cause I'll get fucking sued. So it's just worse Pro Skater with bikes. And boobs. The missions are your standard stuff, only with strippers, like taking this hooker to her pimp. Lady, he's like right across the street. You don't need a ride. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my... One cool feature is if you press L and R at the same time, you can actually get off the bike. I still don't know what this is used for.
Does that left it? My winner will pay. Destroy all of the carts in the area. Hurry!
What, with my bike? I don't owe you shit.
They say that hand that holds winner controls world. Well, this hand holds winner very tightly.
Wait a minute. He's talking about his vagina. BMXXX actually uses the engine from a previous Acclaim game. Dave Mirra BMXX... No wait. Dave Mirra BMX 2. Dave originally was going to put his name to BMXXX, but opted out after the game started to get controversial. Dave Mirra BMX 2 has all the same awkward controls and boring levels like BMXXX. So why would you play the same game without tits? Speaking of tits, Disney's Skateboard Adventure was actually published by Activision and developed by Toys for Bob. The game starts with an opening showing a contest where kids could actually enter to be in the game, which must have been really cool for the kids. The winners were Mally and Ryan. But I don't want to play as fucking Ryan, I want to be Buzz Lightyear. You can choose a variety of Disney characters from Toy Story, Lion King, and Tarzan. Why do they all look so terrified in their portraits? This game was actually made using the engine from Pro Skater 4, and it controls great. You may find the controls a little weird if you're a Pro Skater veteran, and that's why you'll want to turn on the Pro controls immediately. Now it plays like Pro Skater. Of course, I picked Buzz, and the game starts you off in Andy's room, the best course in the game. This stage is actually a fan favorite among Tony Hawk fans. It's even pre-installed in Thug Pro. It's such a great idea for a stage. The thought of being a small creature in a regular-sized world is interesting to me, sexually. There are 3 stages for each of the 3 franchises, plus a city level for those dumbass kids. You can even skate where Tarzan's parents were killed. I gotta say, I wish it wasn't Lion King and Tarzan, because we get a lot of jungle levels this way. They're different enough to be fun, but it would have helped to get some more visual variety, like Aladdin shredding in Agrabah. My only gripe with this game is that you can only play as the Disney characters in their corresponding levels. So you can't be Buzz Lightyear in Africa. The kids can actually go to the Disney worlds, but only through the portals in the city level. Which is unfair, like that would just make me mad as a kid. These kids get to be in the game and skate with the elephant from Tarzan? Fuck you, Ryan. Minor gripes aside, this game is basically a lost Tony Hawk game, and a damn good one at that. On the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Disney Sports Skateboarding. This game is just bad. It's B to grind and wide for flips. That's disgusting. You also have to use L and R to turn like Evolution Skateboarding. And surprisingly, this was also produced by Konami. With floaty physics, no momentum, and boring maps, you should avoid this game at all costs. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong and this game gets good in 5 hours. During the height of Pro Skater's popularity, Activision made some other extreme sports games hoping to get another hit series, even using the same font as Pro Skater. I guess you could say these are spin-offs instead of rip-offs. I guess you could also say nothing and shut your fucking mouth. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX was trying to capture the fun gameplay of Pro Skater, but with bikes. And unfortunately, it doesn't do a very good job. Like a lot of the games in this video, it's just a slower, less fun Pro Skater. You can land backwards on your bike, but it absolutely kills your momentum. The first game on PS1 also doesn't have a balance bar for grinding, which is just perplexing. The game is also kind of a glitchy mess. I was hoping the sequel on GameCube would be better, but it's about the same. In fact, it might be slightly worse than the PS1 game. It seems harder to turn in this one. The graphics aren't that impressive, even for the time. Hey Simon, can I have some of your weed? Oh shit, he actually is high. These 2 BMX games copied the Pro Skater gameplay, which isn't really a bad thing, but they keep fucking up the execution. Again, you might as well play the boob bike game. Activision's other game in the short-lived Pro spin-offs was Kelly Slater's Pro Surfing.
Surfing is not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Yeah!
Surfing motherfuckers try not to say, surfing isn't a sport, it's a lifestyle. Now I don't know who any of these guys are because there wasn't a movie with a surfing monkey, so I'll just pick the hippie looking guy.
Surfing isn't as easy as it looks.
I'm sorry, but nothing about surfing looks easy. You'd have to be some sort of pathological liar to think surfing looks easy.
Oh, you don't know about Bert? He's a professional wakeboarder. I'm like, no, he's not. Oh, he's a he's a professional skimboarder. I'm like, dude, worst idea ever.
Dude, I'm like sneaky athletic.
So the game is kind of like if the half pipes from Pro Skater could kill you. You have to make sure you're facing the right direction when the wave starts, you have to keep track of your momentum, and you can even stall and balance yourself inside the tube of the wave. It's a pretty fun game, but it definitely has a larger learning curve than Pro Skater. Kudos to Treyarch for making something that feels like surfing and not just Pro Skater in water. One of my big complaints is the lack of level variety. And no fault of the developers, but just the nature of making a surfing game, every level is gonna be fucking water. Overall, I would say it's an okay game. Definitely try it out if you think surfing isn't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Whoa, you wake up at 5 a.m. to go swimming? That's sick, dude. Can I have my Chipotle bowl, please? Go Go Hypergrind is a cel-shaded skateboarding game published by Atlas with character designs by Spumco. You know, the cartoon studio founded by John K., who always gets his work done on time and has never done anything wrong. To be fair, John K. only did initial sketches of some characters.
It's It's not common knowledge, but certain animation studios in the real world have access to a place called the Toon World.
Oh, so kinda like Chris Chan.
Secretly, a studio provides scripts and storyboards for a cartoon, while the actual casting and production are handled in the Toon World.
So this game operates similar to Roger Rabbit. By the way, I always wondered, if a toon and a human have a baby, is the baby CGI?
However, the increasing popularity of computer-generated graphics has cut into the overall profitability of traditional cell animation.
That's very ironic coming from a game that's entirely CGI.
To renew interest in the medium and revive the struggling economy, the Toon World turns to Spumco Studios to help produce a major action-packed cartoon featuring extreme skateboarding.
After that cliched exposition, we could pick our character. And you can definitely see the Ren and Stimpy influence in all of them. Just don't think about the Johnson brothers too much. So the game controls the same way as Pro Skater, just way floatier. I'm talking like 1080s are the norm floaty. It also has probably the worst grind balance bar out of any of these games. What sets this game apart is the gimmicks. Gimmicks are basically classic cartoon deformities that you can obtain throughout the stage. Things like being flattened, being covered in milk, decapitation, basic fetish stuff. You can stack multiple gimmicks, and it's fun to see what deformed gremlin your character turns into.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kevin. I'll be your instructor.
Oh, is the coach one of those hybrid babies I was talking about?
What sets you apart from the traditional method is that you toon actors do it with a pizzazz and style that can't be duplicated in the real world.
So this is the expressive animation Spumco is known for.
I'll give you a rundown of what you need to do, okay? Knowing the right places to do tricks can
What?
really
I can't hear you, the background music's too loud. First level is Toon City, where no one ever dies and gay marriage is illegal. The campaign of this game is that you basically do a bunch of missions on each level, each one of them building up your score against the other skaters. Missions can include stuff like score attack, hurting yourself, and the worst battle mode I've ever played. You grab items and throw them with the C-stick, which good luck aiming in a game where you're constantly moving. The item spawns never move, so your opponent can just hang around one and keep spamming items over and over. You only get one chance to do each mission, so if you fuck up or you don't understand the directions, tough shit, loser, that's going on your final score. It's not too bad doing the missions on the same stage, but there is one music track for each stage. It makes it pretty tedious when you listen to the same song over and over again, which is a shame because the music is actually really good. It's J-Rock from bands called Tsunami and Grizzly. One of the biggest flaws of this game is the tricks. Some are regular pro skater tricks, while others are goofy cartoon shit. It's cool that they have such over-the-top tricks, but you have to remember which ones take too long so you don't do them. One of your flip tricks is like a special move in Pro Skater, and it was fucking me up constantly. Look at this manual. I'm literally just sitting in a lawn chair. That's actually pretty cool. Even though the campaign is like a race, you don't have to get first place in order to move on, which is good because I did not want to do all these dumbass missions again. The characters are really the only thing this game has going for it, since the gameplay is just okay. The skating isn't too bad, the mission mode could be better paced, and the music is great, but there's no playlist option. The art style is probably the reason this average game goes for $500 online. The retro game market is totally not a scam, guys. At most, check this game out if you're a Pro Skater fan, or you just love John K.'s cartoons. Alright, now we're getting to the real shit. Rocket Power Beach Bandits for GameCube. Developed by Evolution Games. Now that's one cool sperm. Our story follows the Rocket Powers, Bonesaw, Reggae, Tsunami, and Squid, who find out that all of the sand from the beach is gone.
There's more at stake than just your surfing, Otto. What about the shore shack?
I think my first thought would be, how the fuck is all the sand gone? Throughout this whole intro, there's no music or sound effects.
Hey, I think they're gonna say something.
It's all very eerie. So all the sand is taken overnight, And this guy who owns real estate coincidentally offers to fix the missing sand problem. I don't see anything wrong with that. Also, this security guard right here, great model.
I'm sure things will be back to normal before the end of summer. Thank you for your patience.
That was like a stadium cheer sound effect for like 8 people. So the game has an overworld, similar to GTA 3, where you can pelt civilians with hockey pucks. Please, I may be smiling on the outside, but not on the inside. The gang goes to Raymundo to find out how to get the sand back, because that's the plot of this fucking rocket power game. So the first mission is to beat some guy in a skate competition, which is the tutorial for skating. So you press L to grind, okay. You hold R and either left or right to spin, alright. But if you hold R and go either up, down, or diagonal, you do grab tricks. So you spin and do tricks with R. It's all pretty awkward, but good thing you're unaffected by Earth's gravity. This 10-year-old is popping 1080s like it's nothing.
Warm up with a little grinding.
Okay, I guess I'll just watch this guy do all the tricks. Glad I get to see all this before I blow him the fuck out. Alright, I beat his score in 20 seconds, so I guess I'll just chill for the next 1 minute 40 seconds. After waiting a whole 2 minutes, the gang finds a robot trash can with the same logo as that real estate guy.
Look, this is the same logo that suit guy has on all his stuff.
He must be connected to all this somehow.
Oh, you think?
Come on, we better tell Dad. He'll know what to do.
So I guess I'll just walk all the way back in this extremely empty open world. Oh, look, an ad for Tack and the Power. Oh, fuck! That poster fucking scared me.
And it's somehow connected to that Gollum guy. We saw...
Jesus, you could chew marbles with those teeth.
If you're sure about this, you guys go see Officer Shirley and tell her what you saw. Yeah! The long arm of the law!
Yeah, police are totally radical. These kids are having a little trouble with those chairs. So you go to see Officer Shirley in the other part of the map, and apparently these buildings have the biggest fucking doors ever.
Officer Shirley! Officer Shirley!
Something I can do for you children? Normally, I'm the one that comes looking for you.
We know what's happening to the sand. Gollum Industries is using robots to steal it.
We saw one under the pier.
Yeah, he just showed up right when all the sand was stolen and has an idea on how to bring back the sand. What, you never seen all the sand on a beach taken overnight? Is there something in the water? Is that why everyone looks so fucked up? So after talking to this clearly troubled child, we finally get to do some skating. This time on rollerblades.
If you want to grab that mask, Reggie, you're going to have to grind along the rail to do it.
Fuck you, Twister. Rollerblading is really awkward. You lose momentum very easily, and it's hard to grind because your jump is so short you can barely reach the rails. Also, shockingly, I don't think the physics work very well.
I also saw Mackenzie down at the playground. She was really mad about something. You should go check it out.
Later, dude.
Man, they want to get the fuck away from this kid. Hell, I don't blame them. You ever met those kids that always wear costumes? It's unhealthy. So after so much walking through this barren, boring overworld with the same fucking looping stock music, I found out you can actually equip rollerblades and skateboards from the damn pause menu. Now I can go through this boring map faster. So at this point I'm pretty much done with the game. The skateboarding itself seems to be a small part of it, and it's not very good. I could see a kid thinking this game was cool if it was like their first video game ever, but any adult playing it now is only playing it because of nostalgia, and they'll get bored with this very quickly. I might as well check the concept art. What? 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 When does this game become BioShock? Hold on, let me just skim through a long play real quick. Holy shit, there's jet skis? Wait, when does this become Armored Core? Now you're in a volcano? Oh my god, he was a robot? So yeah. Skateboarding in this game isn't that good. Maybe if they focus more on the skateboarding and less on the fucking Power Rangers plot, they might have had a decent skateboarding game. Also, you remember that time Squid totally fucking killed himself? Well, what about the GBA version? Yep, still that iconic sand-stealing plot, portrayed by this very clear and not confusing visual. And it's just a shitty side-scroller. Next. Well, how about Rocket Power Dream Scheme for the Game Boy Advance? The story begins with Otto's neighbor Merv Stimpleton, don't worry, I had to look that up, making a device that soon there will be no stopping the polka. You do you, man. Just keep it away from my kids. Otto seems to be in a dream. Or maybe he's not. I don't know, it's like Inception. He then sees Stimpleton kidnapping a 10-year-old girl. Why didn't he also just kidnap Otto? Why kidnap anybody? And it's another shitty side-scroller. Moving on. Our final game, thank God, is Rocket Power Zero G Zone. Before I get to this, I want to shout out the Pro Skater Game Boy games. The early ones were side-scrollers or top-down racing games, but when they got to the GBA, they actually made an effort to emulate the gameplay of the console games. They're isometric and you don't have as many buttons, but once you get used to the camera, it can be pretty fun. Shout out to the Tony Hawk model from Pro Skater 2 on GBA. Look at that face. Look at that lack of face. I wouldn't call them great, but for a portable Tony Hawk game in the early 2000s, these were pretty good. Now imagine a shitty version of that. It has the isometric view, but it also has these tank controls. So just trying to move around is a fucking maze. Seriously, it's hard to explain how bad the controls are, which is why this footage looks like I'm controlling an RC car with a broken wheel. There's no momentum in this game. You just slowly go up to a half pipe and it fucking launches you, no matter how fast you are going. The level design is ass. It's just a couple half pipes and things to grind. There's no branching combo route like a good Pro Skater level. Hey Squid, watch out for the endless void on your left there. Grinding is also incredibly awkward. Not only is it just hard to actually grind on the rails, but the rails are the only things you can grind on. There's other ledges that look like you can grind on them, but no, you can only grind on the rails. Every other game that we've talked about, even the bad ones, have at least one thing that's interesting about them. But Rocket Power Zero G is absolute trash. There is nothing redeeming about this game. It's easily the worst game of this entire list. I think Sean Baby said it best back in 2003. This is for people who love Tony Hawk and hate themselves. Well, that was a series of games. Some were good, some okay, and most of them bad. But even the bad ones made me appreciate how good Pro Skater is, and why so many companies tried to copy its success. You know, it doesn't matter if you're on a bike, rollerblades, scooter, or a wheelchair. If these ripoffs had the same fun gameplay as Pro Skater, then it'd be like having another Pro Skater game with new levels. Instead, most of these miss the mark with either the controls, the physics, or the level design. I guess the lesson here is that if you do a good job ripping off something, then it's not a ripoff. It's an homage. And for all those thinking that I didn't put enough time into these games, well, the thing about that is, sperm.